How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. It's Wednesday. We got the crew here. Steph's back. Mike's back. And we are going to be talking about everything in the world of pop culture today. Now, we didn't get a chance to talk about the Acolyte trailer, so we'll talk about that because we do cover the Star Wars stuff. We didn't watch the Bad Batch yet. We're not caught up, so we won't be covering that today. But Kong and Godzilla, that's coming out. I'm going to see that a little later today. But there's some tracking on how that movie's going to do overall. And surprising, the first reactions are you don't really care about the human story. Who cares? It's not why you're going to this movie. If you are, you're seeing the wrong movie. There's a new Spiderverse animated thing out there. It's getting some buzz. There's the X-Men that's doing really well. And Pirates, speaking of Disney, Pirates of the Caribbean is getting a reboot. What does that mean as far as reboot goes? And also speaking of Disney, they're converging both Hulu and Disney Plus together. When you go to the app, you can get it all. That's great news. At least I think it's good news. My wife in another dimension, Julia Roberts, is now, or maybe some people say now. I think my wife's prettier, but I'm just saying. Anyway, Julia Roberts is doing a new movie that is getting some buzz around that, also for Amazon. And Pedro Pascal, they said that there was a report that said, hey, he's not going to be doing, he's wrapped everything up from Last of Us now. There's no more Pedro Pascal on that show. And HBO Max said, no, that's not true. So that's everything we're talking about. And the good news is that I'm pretty confident that the leaf blower will be here today. So at some point, we're going to get disrupted on the show with some loud leaf blowing. So if you like that, and that's why you come to watch podcasts and listen to podcasts, then you found your channel. Subscribe. Hit that button, man. We're at 100 and almost 135,000 right now. I'm trying to get to 200, but we need you guys to hit that button. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're into the UAP phenomenon, we have a new channel, which is Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. You can go to that link. We just hit 16,000 on that channel, and that's daily news. All right. It's me, it's Mike, it's Steph. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Big Thing Show. Wednesday, it's myself, Kristian Harloff, Mike Kalinowski, and returning, Steph Sabrad. Look at that glow.
Look at it.
Look at that glow.
Look at it.
How you doing, Steph?
Very good.
A lot of love from the audience coming your way too.
Yeah.
So It's good stuff. I know we won't talk too much about it, but everybody's happy for you.
I know. It was so great. You guys are the best.
Awesome.
What's up, Michael?
Nothing. I'm just saying it was awesome.
Okay, good. Yeah. You're going to repeat everything that you say. Nothing. I just had a sip of soda.
No, it was awesome. Everything was wonderful with her.
I said, how are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine. You know me.
I do know you. So I can't wait to see you as like an 80-year-old dude. You're going to be really grouchy.
Of course.
I like
I'm going
that.
to fit right into it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
You already are. We got things to talk about, and we'll start because the Acolyte. Mike came in and he was like, we didn't even talk about the Acolyte because it dropped because
we didn't have a show last week, so I think it dropped like at the day before, or maybe the night before.
Yeah.
Or no, I think it was like 5 minutes before we would have taped normally.
Yeah, right. We didn't do that. That's yeah. So there was a ton of trailers. I was in New York last week, so there was a ton of trailers that dropped during that time. There was like Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's right.
And Acolyte. Acolyte I caught right before I left, but it was Acolyte, Beetlejuice. What were the other ones? The leaf blowers here, guys. So I didn't lie to you. We're excited to have him on the
Jimmy
show.
Choo.
Yeah.
There was
literally right outside.
Yeah, House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
There was quite a few that hit. So anyway, Acolyte. Here we go. Acolyte trailer dropped last week, and this was a show we've been talking about. This show, man, like forever. For at least, they announced it 4 years ago. That puts it in perspective. 4 years ago, during that whole that thing that I still think they should have done. I know they did it during the pandemic, but they did all those big announcements. And one of the shows that they announced was the Acolyte, and Leslie Headland from Russian Doll is doing this. And one of the most exciting things about it is that this show takes place 100 years before The Phantom Menace, and it puts it in a place where we haven't seen in movies and TV and Star Wars yet, which is 100 years beforehand, not connected to the Skywalker, where you're going to see all the Jedi running around. And the question is, what's the tone going to be like? And so my thoughts Well, you know what? Steph just watched it.
Yeah.
Steph's been busy. So Steph
She had
just
a little
watched
something
it.
going on.
So let's hear Steph's thoughts first, and then I'll give you my thoughts, and then I want to hear Mike's thoughts. So Steph, what'd you think? You've been waiting for this one forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too excited,
Yeah.
but it looked really sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the tone of it. The cast is unbelievable. Like, I think we always talk about doing that, like have some A-lister and then some of like the lesser known, but you know, like there's Manny Pachinko who was in The Good Place, I think it was. And like that's an exciting actor for me to see. And then Amandla, who's done a lot of bigger things, but not as of lately. I haven't seen
Hunger
them in
Games probably their biggest thing. Yeah.
Right. So, and then what? How do I forget her name?
Carrie Ann Moss.
Carrie Ann Moss.
She just has my heart forever. When I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, she's doing the Trinity moves in the first shot that you see her. Yeah.
It's so sick. And then to see the Squid Game actor in that position as the Jedi teacher is really cool. I just love the tone of it. I think that it's going to be, it looks really good.
Michael?
Are we going to me now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's why.
There's
That's
lots
just
of-
another Michael here.
Not too many lightsabers, but there were
There are a lot of
lightsabers.
Yeah, but like,
There should be in that era.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think because I don't think that's what I thought it was going to be.
What did you think it was going to be?
Maybe more Knights of the Old Republic. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Where that feels like, even though it's 100 years before Phantom Menace, it felt like it fit in with the Phantom Menace. The aesthetic, everything that looked the same. Like, I thought we were going to get a little more. Again, it's all on me that I thought that. Only 100 years difference.
Sure.
I think of architecture and stuff in our time, like 100 versus 100 years ago. Oh, it's vastly different.
Well, look
But
at the prequels how much it changed in the prequels to the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
insane. So
Right.
it looked a lot like the prequels, which it should, I guess.
So you don't know. You have no thought yet until you see it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. Yeah,
All right.
I'm just kind of.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yes, Billy.
I'm back though.
Okay,
I go and think. Are we gonna get a redemption arc?
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
Come on,
There's a
man.
redemption.
I was saying.
yeah.
I saw that and I was like, well, here we go.
So I think everyone's going to be surprised when I say,
Okay.
I side with Mike on this one.
Oh.
I'm with you. I'm with Steph in the. I like the tone of what they're going for if they hit it.
Yeah.
Right. I think that it doesn't look goofy. There are a lot of kids running around the joint. Like you got even Amandla is fairly young, and they're going to be the full-on antagonist the entire time. And okay, maybe it works. I've just been let down so much by the and you said as much in the beginning that you're still a little like skeptical, but the tone itself. The other problem, and this is something that I just found out yesterday. I think it was reported a couple days ago. 30-minute episodes.
Oh.
I'm almost out already. 30-minute episodes.
And now, so you said 30 minutes. You said when they were listening to fans earlier, and I thought you were happy about that.
No, I was being sarcastic.
But also, so now I'm thinking about it. Like, okay, we had Reva, Shin, and now her. Like 3 young female antagonists hunting guys, the good guys. I'm like, we've seen that. Like, there's 3 of them now. It's back with the whole old man or old person with a young kid. In Star Wars,
Well, that's
it's like
the question.
You had 3 of those. And
Well,
it's
we
just
don't
like,
know
what are we
yet.
doing?
But we don't know the story
Sure.
yet. So that's why I can't judge the story yet because I don't know the story
Right.
yet.
Right.
But what I do know is that you're not going to be able to tell me much of the story in 30 minutes up top.
And how many episodes is it? Do we know?
Like 8?
They'll probably
something
do a
like that?
2-episode.
They are.
Oh, they are.
They're dropping 2 episodes to start, so it'll be like an hour to start. So is it like they even asked? Is it like an 8? Is it like a one big movie? And they're like kind of, but not really, or whatever. And it's like I don't
Drop it all.
I don't think this is a Leslie Headland call. I don't. I think this is a Filoni call. And
Yeah, because
I
Russian Doll episodes were
longer.
an hour, right?
Yeah, I don't. This is a Star Wars faster, more intense call, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate the 30-minute thing, especially when you're trying to build out characters in a show like this where nobody knows what
We
the
don't
hell's
know
going
anyone.
on because it's freaking 100 years beforehand, and I don't know anybody. And you're going to develop these characters how?
And it's an ensemble cast.
It's
There was
right.
20 people shown. From what the story looks, I could be wrong, but it seems that that Amanda's character is the young girl or the young Jedi who said fire, right?
Yes.
And then grows up to be a Jedi killer.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because it also
That's just my guess.
There's rumors that it's twins. There's other things too, but there's the other side of it is where's Daphne Keene? Could Daphne Keene be good?
Right.
I hope it's. I love Daphne Keene.
Yeah.
Great in Logan, but I hope Daphne Keene is his Jedi now. I don't like the two of them as the two Sith. It's like have the old wise Sith training the Daphne.
So you-
there needs
training
to be
Amanda.
that lore.
Yes.
So you think Amanda is the mentor, and there's going to be someone
I think
else?
Amanda is the acolyte. I think Amanda is the apprentice, and
Okay.
I think that saber that came flying in.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's got an opinion. But I think that Amandala is definitely, they show Amandala in this, but I think that whoever it is throwing that saber.
Might be the master.
Yeah. Now, the big issue also is that what's been going around is, and there's no judgment on this yet, but it's a fair question to ask. In Phantom Menace, this
I know what you're going to say.
Kayumundi, he says the Sith have been
Extinct for nearly a millennia.
right.
And fandom went both sides.
Yes,
Both sides
it's
went
been
nuts.
gone for millennia, yet they're fighting this potential Sith in the forest. Now, the Sith could wipe them all out, and nobody has a chance to log it, and nobody knows. So then shut up, because they explained why. So Leslie Headland pays attention to the lore, pays attention to the story. So my fingers are crossed. I don't want to, but it should be a concern, because I mentioned this the other day. Frank Janisch was on Roka's show, and he was like, at this point, it's like, who cares? It's like, you gotta care. I hate that mentality. I love Frank, but I hate that mentality.
I stay out of the Star Wars discourse online now, but I love to read it all. So you've got the one side like, this is ridiculous, they're ignoring lore, and then there's the other side who's like, it's fast and loose, it's just Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like,
but why do I care then?
Right.
If you're establishing canon, you've got to stick to it.
Right.
And I don't care if you're Filoni and you come in as like, my stuff's great, and George didn't really leave a lot of blueprints, so I'm doing my own things. Like, but if you're saying this is the thing, like in Phantom Menace they established there's always two of them.
Right.
Don't be showing a master with 5 apprentices suddenly. Don't be doing that. You've established the lore.
Right.
Stick to it.
Stick to it. And look, Deborah Chow, who I thought did some of the best work in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That show, Obi-Wan, went all over the place with canon.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with Leia and Boo and Baru and all that. It's like it was all over the place.
Yeah, Boo.
But it was all over the place.
And you could see someone going, you know what? Let the story tell itself. And if it fudges canon,
who cares?
the fans just go with tell the better story.
I think that's a mistake. I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, it is.
Because why are you asking me to care about it if you don't care about it? And it's like, in the same way that I have always talked about, like, the books.
Yeah.
I stopped reading them because they have said, I know for a fact, Filoni does not pay attention to those books. He does not pay attention to the books. He'll cherry pick stuff from them, maybe here and there, but he's canon-wise, doesn't care if he breaks it. Video games, the shows, and I hope that now the shows and the movies and all that, they do pay attention to it. But the one thing to counter that is you can't say yet, oh, they're disregarding canon. I haven't seen it.
We don't know.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying that it's a fair question to ask.
Sure.
People are like, oh, that's ridiculous. How do they not know? It's a good question to say, are they going to pay attention to it? If they don't, and I don't have confidence that they are going to pay attention to it, because there's been things that they'll just mention something like, what'd be cool? Let's just mention Quinlan Voss in this. Was it going to pay off? Oh, maybe. Remember that in Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Oh, Quinlan was here? Oh, what's that mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
We're just going to get you excited if you're a canon fan. That's about it.
Now, if you have those problems at the end of the show,
then that's a conversation
fair.
that we'll have on this show.
Yeah.
And that is fair to have. But I think tone-wise, and look, there is also the predictable people that this could have been the next Game of Thrones and could have looked like the best show ever. And most people who saw, wow, right? There were going to be, no matter what, there were going to be people who hated it. That's just part of the culture now. But I also think that it is very fair to say we've been let down so much by these shows. There's been Mandalorian Season 1, Mandalorian Season 2, Andor, to me, are the quality shows.
Agreed.
Those are the quality shows. Everything else, okay. Yeah, and it's a bummer, because as I was watching Ahsoka, there was a few episodes that I really enjoyed. Like the first two I really enjoyed. There was the Anakin one that I dug. There was one at the end that I liked a lot, but then I went back and I told you I rewatched it.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. It gets not good, guys. With the writing.
It's not for me.
Yeah. So either way,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I don't know what it is. It's because I spent a lot of time thinking about Star Wars. Obviously,
Yeah.
we have the show, and then I am just seeing shows like The Last of Us last year, Shogun this year, and House of the Dragon, and you're like, I don't know if things have just gotten better and they've just stayed the same, or if I've changed.
I think it's a mixture of all of
Yeah.
them. I think it's a mixture because I just watched. Did you watch Three Body Problem yet? Oh my God, you love
heard
it.
about that.
It's on Netflix. It's the new series from Benioff and Weiss,
Oh,
but it's
no.
about. But
Is it
it's
new?
Yeah, the Netflix.
Okay.
It's. I don't want to tell you what it's about.
Okay,
I'm not even going to tell you. Just watch the first episode.
Okay, I will.
It's called Three Body Problem. It's like the number 1 or number 2
Okay.
show right now.
I'll
I
watch
think
it
that's where
tonight.
it comes in. Was it Amanda Stenberg that said she didn't want what?
Do it again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. What?
Was it Amanda Steinberg that they said that they didn't want the crew to read Star Wars or they didn't watch any Star Wars or something?
No,
They
that's
got
Leslie
a-
Headland.
Leslie Headland.
Leslie Headland. Yes. Who?
Amanda is actually a massive fan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm getting
Yes.
this. So it
Yeah.
was Amanda.
Yeah. Leslie.
Leslie Headland said that.
Yes, Leslie Headland was, but that was what she said was in the room. She didn't say that for the whole. And I actually like this,
But I'm going to say why I like it.
But what she said was that she had a room where there was at least 1 or 2 people in that room that didn't know anything about Star Wars. Not the whole room.
Okay.
Just 1 or 2 people. Which, if it was the whole room, that's a problem. 1 or 2 people who are just there, who are good writers, who like are asking just basic story questions.
That's great.
I think that's great.
But I think that's necessary because, like you guys said, we just said about like Shogun, these shows, like they expand. You're getting better television. But if we have the same people that know Star Wars and that's all they're writing,
Right.
we're getting the same thing we had for 40 years.
Yeah.
You need to do something different with it for it to flourish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that I mean, look at Tony Gilroy. Tony Gilroy doesn't know anything about Star Wars, but that says, "Hey, question: if we did this, would that make sense for the lore?" And
You
someone
always
goes,
say
"Yeah."
this, that the Stellan Skarsgård's like artifacts.
Yeah.
You're like, who knows stuff we can put in here?
Yeah, Tony
and
Gilroy
then you
doesn't know
got the
what's in
Star
that
Wars
room.
guy that's like, oh, we'll put this
Right.
here. We'll put this here.
Yeah.
He's like, okay,
Great.
cool.
Does it make sense to be in the world? Yeah, it does because this is fantastic. Put it
Yeah.
in there. That's the same thing that she's talking about.
That's
you
what
have,
we need.
If you have the full room, if it was one of these things where like, well, we didn't want anybody who knew Star Wars, so we just took random people and put them down. Like that's stupid. But that's not what she said.
Right.
Anyway, so what'd you guys think overall? I know there's a big kind of discourse over it overall, but the question is, and I think it's fair to say that if you liked the tone of it, if you didn't like the tone of it at all, even if you're like because most people could be let down by what's come, I mean, most people might have liked that. I don't know. But the other stuff, but this is something where did you like the tone of it? Because if you like the tone, you can be hopeful for it.
Right.
I'm just I was yesterday looking and I was on. We did the one-on-one Patreon things, and I was on somebody. I looked at the 30 minutes runtime, and I ultimately just went, I'm way more bummed now because I want to really kind of dive into what this world is, and if they're doing all these big action scenes, fighting trees and the Matrix scenes, that's going to take 5 to 6 minutes alone. So how are you going to develop
the
these
story?
people? Yeah, and that's 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes if it's 30 minutes without the credits.
Right. Percy
it's-
Jackson was an hour long.
Oh my gosh.
This is not, and I'm not. This is not a Leslie. It's clearly if you do research on it and you look at it,
Well,
it
I'm going to
can't
tell
be
you
a Leslie
too,
Headland
where they're
thing.
going
It
to
can't
back
be.
themselves up with this. And you guys, we'll talk about it a little later, but you guys have watched X-Men, right?
Yeah, the
new one?
They're so good, but they're 20-something minutes
Yeah.
because it's a cartoon. And when I rewatched them a couple times over the past week because they're so good, they're just fast. There's no room, even though the characters are great
they
and
build,
you feel the
yeah,
story.
yeah.
It's fast, and you don't get to sit in those moments that, like with live action. You really want to sit with these
Right.
characters,
Right.
And we don't
have
know
a-
those characters.
yeah.
That's right.
the thing,
That's the
too.
other thing is you can get away with that in X-Men. Also, one because animated, right, it moves
Yeah.
at a faster pace. But two, I know a lot about
We know.
Wolverine. I know a lot about Wolverine, and I know a lot of his backstory, and so they focus a little bit more on Gambit, or they focus on someone else. I don't know any of these characters. Sure, I don't. I mean, Carrie Ann Moss, I know because she's Trinity.
She's Trinity.
But you
forever.
also will see the execs going, X-Men, highest rated TV show of all time for us. They like the half-hour episodes. You could see the people that don't understand stuff like that make these decisions that will, going forward, make decisions going, half hours works better. That's our best time.
It's not fair, and I have no evidence to support it.
Yeah.
But I feel it's a Filoni thing. I really do feel it's a Filoni thing. I really feel I feel like
animation and television.
But I feel like it's him going, we can just move and get to it. It's quick, bang, bang, bang. And it's like, because he moves so fast and he kind of takes that and he's like, and I don't think because he has developed animation and has been able to tell great stories in animation. And the same thing you're saying. And a show like Rebels, which he didn't know all the characters, and he was able to continuously tell, but he had more episodes.
Sure.
And this is something that I think this is a massive mistake to make these episodes 30 minutes. I think I'm always complaining about the 30-minute runtime on all these, but this is a really bad mistake.
I know we had problems sometimes with Mandalorian, but like Mandalorian one person, and it was sometimes bottle episodes, but this is your world building a whole new world for us.
New characters.
Yeah. It's like,
because even the Mandalorian, the suit's familiar. I mean, sure, like the Jedi are familiar. Yeah, I know, but like, who are these Jedi?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them. I've never even heard anything about them at all.
Mandalorian was set during a time we've already been in.
Right.
So there's not. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, they've got it. They smart move to put the first two out because you're going to say, okay, well, that was quick, and now. But the other thing that I like, practical effects, practical locations.
Yeah.
They Leslie Hillen also said they didn't use I don't think they used the volume really at all. But Coruscant, which I thought was really awesome. This is a good story from the other day. They said that Coruscant is actually a practical location. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen Coruscant practical before.
Yeah.
Andor, maybe?
I don't think they went to Coruscant.
Sure.
They did for
Was it Mon Mothma?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Mothma and all
For
her
one
husband.
episode,
And,
yeah.
Jimmy Choo, her
That's
husband.
true.
there.
That's right. Right. Did they?
But
And I forgot his name.
they went-
Stellan Skarsgård's character. They were all on Coruscant.
They were on. Yeah, that's right. They're on Coruscant. But it's like, was that actually practical?
I don't know. Maybe his store was.
You're on soundstage. I mean, when they're saying
I'm talking about
practically,
I think the buildings and stuff and all that.
sound stages.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. But either way, a lot of discussion here on it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be? Is it going to deliver? What say you? Put your thoughts in there. Yes, Billy.
Do we have a release date?
Yeah, June.
Okay, thank you.
I think it said June.
I just need
It's
the
like a
general.
Wednesday.
I just need the general.
Early June. There's so much coming out in June though. There's so much. It's that.
It's the
summer,
Air,
man.
House of the Dragon, I think also. So, okay. You need a lot of energy to get through it. Thank God I got Athletic Greens. I'll tell you about AG1 and Rocket Money, two of my favorites. I'll tell you about them right now.
All right, guys, let's talk about AG1. You guys know I love AG1. If you've been listening to my show, you've heard me talk about them, and I've been drinking them for about 2 years now, and I love it. Never been a vitamins guy. I've told you that. I take it all one shot, AG1. I put it in a water bottle. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommend AG1 to my friends. I recommend AG1 to my family. Everybody. AG1 is a team of doctors and scientists. It is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sport. It is formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards. You guys know they've been with us for a while because you guys know too. You've all been checking them out, and everybody who's been signing up to AG1 says the same thing. It's changed your energy. It's changed how you approach things in the day. You're smiling more. You're running around the place, and you're sleeping better. I know. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/big thing. drinkag1.com/big thing. Check it out.
Rocket Money. I've been telling you guys about Rocket Money forever because there's a lot of times that you forget about these subscriptions and you either pay twice for it, you didn't realize it, you sign up for a thing and you're like, oh, I'll do that first free month, and then it's gone. Your money's gone every month. Did Rocket Money do what you wanted them to do for you when you signed up? Because it did it for me. I had all these subscriptions and I was like, oh, and it lists it out and it says, don't do that. You don't need these. It tells you how much money you have that you've spent in the month. It tells you, it gives you your credit score. It gives everything. I mean, Rocket Money for me is the way to go. It's a personal finance app. And it finds and it cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps lower your bills, which is the best. So you can grow your savings, because Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and it's saved a total of 500 million, saving members up to $740 a year. So don't waste money. Cancel your unwanted subscription and go on over to rocketmoney.com/big thing. rocketmoney.com/big thing. All right, thank you to our friends over at AG1 and Rocket Money. As I mentioned to you guys each and every week, I just got somebody the other day said they signed up for AG1. They got it for their mom, they got it for their friends, and AG1 has been working out great for people. And Rocket Money, Rocket Money to me is a lifesaver. It really is. It just balances everything for me. It tells me how much money I've spent for the week. It tells me how much I've got for subscriptions that I don't need anymore. I just canceled 2 last week because Rocket Money's like, hey, dummy, you don't even use these anymore. Get rid of them. And I did. So links in the description. That's how you help out the show, and you get something cool for yourself. All right, let's move to this next story. So Disney Plus is launching a Hulu integration in the United States. This is a pretty big story. So North American subscribers to both Disney Plus and Hulu will now see a full Hulu experience within the Disney Plus app. Today marks the official launch of the integrated product, which will aim to convert standalone Disney Plus customers into 2-service subscribers. Hulu titles will be integrated into personal content recommendations, sets, and collections within the Disney Plus app, as opposed to being a completely separate affair as it was in recent months of beta testing. This allows Hulu's 70-plus TV episodes and movies with originals such as Shogun, Only Murders in the Building, and The Bear, featuring alongside Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney content. For the foreseeable future, the live channels in the Hulu Plus live TV package will not be available in Disney Plus. The aim overall is to improve engagement, drive up total viewing hours among customers who have both. Those without Hulu will see it heavily promoted within the app. The launch has led to the Disney Plus logo having more greenish color scheme and a new intro video, and Disney has already incorporated a Hulu-esque hub called Star within its service overseas for around 2 years ago. Latin America is an exception, where Star Plus is a separate service but will be incorporated into Disney Plus in June. This is a very smart move, and it is also good. Just goes into the laziness of human beings as well too. In the same way that this is the stupidest thing, where there's a movie. I won't finish my point. Go ahead.
No.
I
I got a headache with everything you just said.
Oh, okay, Billy.
I'm old. I can't
Yeah.
with this.
So you don't understand. Can I finish the point, and then maybe you can then chime in? That'd be
come
great.
on,
That'd
dude.
be great. Okay. So there's this movie called Rad. It's his age. It's right behind you, right on next to the Crow. It's right there. Okay. So I've had this movie for quite a while.
80s.
It's from the 80s.
I saw it.
So I went and I saw a movie with the little one, and they were promoting Rad for Fathom Events, and randomly the soundtrack popped into my head a couple days beforehand. So everything was pointing, you should watch Rad again. So I said, I will. It's been sitting there, and I've seen it. So what did I do? I bought it on Apple because I didn't want to walk into my garage. Right now, that's me being
Are
lazy.
you kidding me? That's what you did.
That's what I did. I'm just telling you, sometimes, maybe not to that extent, but the other thing is, do you ever notice sometimes when you're scrolling through on an app and a movie's on that you have on Blu-ray, or you have,
Right.
you'll watch it on the app, but you could have just went and turned it on in the Blu-ray whenever you wanted to, but you do that. And so it's the same thing here. If basically I know that I want to watch Shogun, right? And my kid was watching, had the Disney app on, left, and now I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just click it right through the Disney. I still haven't watched. I've watched 5 minutes of Shogun.
I can't with you.
I know. Do you want to even get more mad at me?
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this. And I'll mention it again. No, I'll mention it again because it's
ridiculous.
This is a me thing.
Okay.
I watched the first 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
I think this show's overrated. Right.
Kristian, I can't.
I forget. I yelled at myself within seconds, and I said, "This is stupid." I said, "This is." I was like, I don't know about this show. I think I'm done. And then I'm like, "What are you doing?" I was exhausted, so I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like,
"You're not you, and you're hungry."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And so it had nothing to do with anything except me being an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my point is, now I'm scrolling through Disney. I see it.
And
I'm
you
like,
see it.
I'll watch it.
Right. That's unbelievable.
What do you think about this move?
Okay, I think it makes sense. I've had access to Hulu through Disney Plus.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I think I was one of the test runners.
Okay.
And I've definitely clicked on it through there. I think it's good for Disney Plus.
Say I want it. Why not?
Right. Why not do that? And it makes them, because then now people who don't understand streaming services are like, Shogun's on Disney Plus.
Right.
Like, it gives them And now they have FX, which I feel like is ruling TV a little bit right now.
Yeah.
And but the funniest thing today was someone like Complex or someone posted about Disney Plus logo change, and then someone commented, "Can someone in corporate explain to me why they did this?" And I guess, but that makes sense that they're mixing the Hulu colors, but they
Yeah.
were saying to make it different from Max.
Maybe that could be it also. Yeah, because I think, well, and speaking of Max, I mean, when you go to Max now, you can access everything that they own there, which is
Right.
which is great, which is smart. If you own all this stuff, why do you put it in 7 different places?
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Amazing.
You don't
I
care.
can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I got my smart TV. If I want to watch Disney Plus, I click on it. And if I want Hulu, I just go bink, and it moves a little icon over, and there's Hulu. The same thing if I go to Disney, I click on the app, and it opens up. I've got to go dink to move to something in the
But
app
now you
itself.
don't have to dink anymore.
So I'm skipping a dink step?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Me.
Like, I don't care. Like,
If
I'll
you
say
own
this.
all of it, why would you put it in 7 places?
I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care.
Okay.
Like, I hate the logo change. That's you established that Disney
You
Plus.
complain too much,
Here we go.
man.
Here
You
we
complain
go.
too much.
I know what the
Yeah,
Disney
yeah,
logo
yeah.
is.
Shut
It's that blue thing with the star at the end. Now you went green. It's like McDonald's.
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 It's like McDonald's.
I've been to
McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah, man.
Like you established, you got the yellow golden arches. Why are you going to change the golden arches to orange one day? You're not. We know McDonald's is yellow arches. Disney Plus is that blue look. Yes, it's only been 4 years or 5
4
years.
years,
I
yeah.
get it. I get it.
McDonald's
So you
changed
think
their logo.
Max should? I think Max should have stayed purple.
Oh, I think
That
Max
was just
should have
me.
stayed HBO Max
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That was the stupidest mistake they've ever done in their life.
I don't think it impacted them in the way that you think that
I know it didn't,
I
but
was
it just-
I was on the same page. It was
I
like, it's
hated
like, come
it.
on. It was like
It's HBO.
but now you're like, who cares?
I mean,
It's
HBO
like-
is a name.
Yeah.
It's a well-known
It
name.
is.
Look, Twitter was Twitter, and it's
No one calls it
now
X
it-
though. No one calls it X.
people are starting to now.
But now
At
it's
me.
dead.
Compared to what it is,
Compared to what it
was.
used to be.
what it is
Sure.
now.
I used to be on Twitter like an hour a day. Now I check maybe 5 minutes a day, and then I don't like the way the algorithm works there.
Right.
You want to talk about that? I get spam porn on Twitter.
Me too.
They're like, and it's like ads. They're like, who saw the leaked video of so and so?
Right.
And then you scroll down and it's like, look
All
at my
the
giant cock. Take these pills. And I'm like, what is this? And then it's tons of girls going.
it's him.
Tons of girls are like, it's
Your
my
face is-
OnlyFans.
His own ad
Here's
that he
my
did.
nipple.
Your face
Hello.
is AI. Don't do it. I know.
No, it's his own ad he did from 1999.
No, I know. It's crazy. It's turned into like a Pornhub.
It is.
People
I'm
have
not
just signed up to
complaining,
X
but
now.
Right.
Yeah, you just
no,
got people to sign up.
seriously.
Yeah.
if
maybe
you
that's what
guys-
they're trying to get people on it.
Right.
Well,
It's
they're
weird.
making a heavier push towards video on X now
Okay,
too.
then maybe
because
that's what it is.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot on there because if you can start to monetize stuff on X in the way that you did, because look at what YouTube did. YouTube when it started back in 2005.
Was that when it started?
2005. You couldn't monetize it in the way that you can today.
Yeah.
And like it's gotten significantly better with AdSense and all these different things in the way that you could do it, and it took gradual time. If X starts
No,
to do
Twitter.
fine, starts to do that and then finds a way to incorporate that and actually start to, and can rival, because it's a big name regardless, and it goes into this whole conversation we're having. It's a change with the brand to try to make more engagement.
I'll tell you, like, I've always liked Twitter because that was the most engaging for me, especially during the height of the Schmodown. That was my main engagement platform. But like, I get it for news. Like, I woke up first thing yesterday morning and saw the bridge thing.
Oh, right.
Like 6 in the morning
Right.
because Twitter I checked, and
yeah.
that's how I saw it. So I like Twitter for news.
That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And then the problem with it is a lot of people go for news and get caught up in the drama of it all. And it's
Right.
like,
Well, there's me.
yeah, that's you. So
I know.
what was so funny the other day, we did this, Roke and I did this whole show on
No drama with that guy.
but he self admits like it's one of the things that he just does. He likes
Yeah.
to go out and do his thing. I don't. I like to do the post and run, and that's what I do.
Right, right.
And so what I was talking about, what I noticed was that there was this kind of discourse with Ghostbusters movie that came out. And what I was saying, and it was so weird. We explained it like 5 different times, and people weren't getting what we were saying. And essentially, what I was saying was, I went on there and I noticed that there was critics that were essentially basically telling you in so many words that if you like this movie, you're wrong. And this is why this movie is so bad. And this way, I haven't seen this movie. I heard, and if you like this movie, you're wrong. This is a bad movie. And we were like, I don't understand that, right? And people were like, well, what? Just because you don't like a movie, you hate it? I'm like, that's not, no. If you hate it, you hate it. You don't like it. Just don't tell me I have to hate it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we tried to say so many different times. And someone's like, well, for someone who just posts and run, why do you care so much if you're getting involved in it? I was like, I didn't say I don't read what's going on. I just don't get involved in it.
Right.
I didn't. When I looked at the actual tweet of someone that I know talking about, oh, this movie, I talked to somebody who doesn't like it, so I don't like it either, and you shouldn't like it. And I'm like, I didn't write that person back. I just said that's a kind of not a great take that I agree with.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I that's all I do. I never people still. I'll look at people that tag me, and I don't block anymore. By the way, I mute. Because it doesn't allow people to know.
Yeah.
Because it go, oh, he blocked me. Because people used to do that. I'm like,
And it's
no.
like a badge of honor for them.
And they still. It gives me more satisfaction that they think that I can.
They're shouting into the ether.
that I can hear them.
Right.
And they're tagging me and I don't see it. And it's like it's my same when I get a kick at childish or not. My favorite thing that I love it is that when people write the big long paragraphs of why they hate me or whatever it is too. They do these big long paragraphs, and then it goes directly to spam. And I don't read a second of it. I just notice that there's one bad word or whatever it is, and it's like I delete it, and they've spent all this time writing this, and no one saw it.
Amazing.
It's my favorite.
It's like putting them in a glass box.
It's the best. It's like when people write, like anybody, when they write this stuff, it all goes to spam because I have like all the keywords in there that it all goes to spam, and I have to approve stuff that if I say, but it's if it's like not a spam thing, and I put it back in there, but like. It'll be for like a split second because I have now got to a place where I can literally glance, don't have to read what the person wrote. I just know. And I was like, delete. And they've written this thing and no one sees it. And they just basically spent all this time for nothing.
Amazing.
So it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Let's, what the hell? So Hulu, what do you guys think? Do you feel that this is a good move? Do you feel like Mike, like who cares? I think it's a smart move for Disney to make these moves. Yeah, let's move on to the next story here. Hold on. Godzilla and Kong. Go and see it today. My out of the theater reaction will be up. I think today. I think the embargo lifted on it. The new Empire. It eyes a roarsome 135 million global opening, but they say it could fall short overseas. That's a little shocking for me. That it's going to fall short overseas. Godzilla and Kong. The new Empire has started rolling out overseas, and while it should have a strong global opening over Easter weekend, it might fall short compared to its predecessor, Godzilla vs. Kong. This is from Josh Wilding over Comic Book Movie. Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, has begun opening in some theaters, and it will roll out to the rest of the world over the long Easter weekend. Currently, all signs point to the movie conquering the competition with a global box office debut of $135 million. Godzilla vs. Kong opened at a time when people were still reluctant to visit theaters thanks to the pandemic, and despite that, it made $48 million in the U.S. over a 5-day launch, a feat made all the more impressive by the fact that it also dropped on HBO Max for free to subscribers at the same time. According to Deadline, this follow-up is eyeing an international launch of $80 million, $85 million, and a domestic debut of $50 million. Softer launch overseas as Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire's predecessor, scored 105 back in 2021. What changed? China, for starters. Hollywood movies no longer perform as well as they once did, and while the movie has landed a day and date opening in the Middle Kingdom, it simply won't be able to repeat what happened the last time these behemoths shared the screen. There's also the simple fact 3 years ago, Godzilla vs. Kong was the only new movie playing in multiplexes. Godzilla and Kong also faces off stiff competition from Ghostbusters. The movie was no critical darling, but it's been positive word of mouth from moviegoers and should earn around $15 million over the Easter weekend. So Adam Wingard, the director, says only time will tell and when asked if he's going to return for another one, and he said, I think the seductive thing as a filmmaker when you've done 2 movies, it's completed as a trilogy. That's always what everyone expects. Anyway, this is the other thing with this movie is that what I'm not going to do when I go tonight is I'm not going to compare this movie to Godzilla -1.
Right.
I'm sure I'll mention it, and the difference, and I said this the other day, I'll tell you now. Here's the difference with Godzilla -1 and this movie that I have not seen. This movie does not focuses on the human characters, but you don't care about them. They have a couple of different characters here and there, but you don't really give a crap, and all you're waiting for is to watch the big monkey with the power glove, and then you want to watch him. then you want to watch him ride on the lizard and fight other monsters, and they do. And I just kind of was numb watching it, but it was a big visual spectacle, and I got what was advertised. I haven't even seen it, and I can guarantee you, I'm about 80% of what I'm going to say, because you can't compare it. Like Godzilla -1's an anomaly. You care so much about those damn things.
They
but
told a story.
yeah, did you see it yet?
I did.
And when did you see it?
I saw it in January.
Oh, okay. So you saw it. You loved it.
I did.
Yeah, I love it.
But I don't think it's an anomaly. I'm curious because I see so many people hyping when the trailer dropped off for this, and then he's riding him and they're running, going nuts, and that whole thing.
Nuts in a good way or a bad way?
They that's what I want to see. My day's made.
Yeah.
And then I see them destroy superhero movies. Sometimes I'm like, well, why can't you take that love of going to Godzilla vs. Kong or whatever you want to call it, that just I'm going to have fun and I'm seeing a monkey with a glove on. When you've seen superhero movies, like I'm just going to see Tom Hardy eat a lobster and a Venom thing. Like
The quantity. That's why.
okay, but so I'm saying I loved these movies when it was Godzilla, Skull Island, when they were building the mythology and they were really taking their time and they're like, we're really gonna do, and you get Bryan Cranston in there, and all these characters, and then King of Monsters happened, which I love. King of Monsters, I love that one, and it builds. All the Titans are coming up. Then the next one pops out. I was like, yeah, we beat them. Kong's in a little cage now, and Charles Dance's character that got the head of Ghidorah or whatever, we're never going to see him again.
The fact that you remember any of this is
But
astonishing.
when did the change happen with all these characters and Monarch and building go, yeah, that's not happening. We're just going to totally forget the other Titans are out there, and it's just going to be Kong and Godzilla, and there's another Kong down there.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
what
think-
happened?
I don't think it, because I
But
think
then the TV show comes up.
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about with Acolyte.
What
one
happened?
It's one of these things where you just like, because you understand where it's like people aren't asking for development on this stuff anymore because the characters that have been, not minus the TV show, because from what everybody says on that Apple TV show, I watched the first 2 episodes.
People love the show.
And there was development because unlike what we just talked about with the Acolyte, they gave it time to grow. They built up their characters. They didn't just rely on the monster stuff.
But it was using what came before.
Sure. But I think that this movie, though, people aren't looking for that deep character thing. They are literally just going for like a UFC fight, the main event. That's it.
I'm going to say this because I went to see the original one or the second Godzilla versus
Whenever, it
Kong.
doesn't matter.
The pandemic, because it was me, Vogel, and McClung, because it was the first movie back. It was like no one was in the theater. We saw it, but the audience went nuts for this movie. It wasn't a good movie,
Right.
But I think people were just excited to go
an
back
event.
into a
Right,
theater.
right.
Yeah.
After a year away.
Sure.
I think that got a little boost to make another one, but they were like, "That's what people love, so do that." And just like,
Well,
you're
but it
taking
also-
the wrong thing away
Right,
from it.
right.
But it also performed
Yeah, it did
during the
well.
pandemic.
I know.
And so everything that they mentioned on comic book movie stuff, like it makes sense why they made this, and it is, and they're leaning into the spectacle of this. And are you excited about this at all? No, right?
Not really. I don't know what the Well, okay, so I see a photo of of King Kong with the power glove,
Right.
and Godzilla, and they're teaming up, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
Well, like, how you guys can't even communicate with each other? That's crazy.
Well, maybe they can.
Yeah. Okay. And then that's even crazier. And then I see a photo of Caesar, our good
Yes.
friend, riding a horse with an eagle on his arm. And I think
For a second, I'm like,
hell,
who's Caesar?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, of course.
That I'm like, hell yeah, earn that. You
Yeah.
earned that fantasy shot.
You earned it over 4 movies.
that were sick.
But you earned it.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
built to that.
And I'm ready for that world. Like, how did you communicate? How did you become a falconer? I don't know, but I'm
Falconer.
into it.
Caesar the Falconer.
Yeah, it's like amazing.
It's his new name. That's his son, though. It's his grandson, whatever.
That's a great point. Like, I remember people like, I was kind of the side like, oh, Kong can run now? Or
think he ran
Godzilla,
last
Godzilla can run?
I think they ran in the last one, didn't they?
No, I mean, he's moving, his arms are swinging, and you're like,
It's
when the hell? And people are like, oh, but back in the 60s, he rode his tail. And like, he showed him upside down, like going like this on his tail.
yeah, but you can't. But this is
But
what I'm
that's
saying, though. But
a different series.
they are leaning into the ridiculousness of that,
Yeah.
and that's
But you've
why
established it for 3 films already
that's ridiculous.
of But he wasn't always like that.
Come on,
I'm sorry, man.
At this point,
his tail is now purple. First, there was no color. Then it was blue, and now it's purple.
I think we're getting into almost Sharknado territory with it, and I'm on board. And it's like because
I'm not on board
because that's my thing. Is that I'm going like if they pitch this, if I went to go see a movie, because go back with your superhero movie, right?
Yeah.
Like look at the Marvels.
Yeah.
So going into the Marvels, you had all this establishment of what this lore of the MCU in general was, and you've had so many great movies that they've established characters and emotional beats and all of this. And I liked the TV show Miss Marvel. So when we got what we got, at least in my opinion, I was like, well, that was kind of it's silly. It makes no sense. The character development's off. It's like it was noticeable. When I go to see this, it's like as long as I see tonight a monkey and a lizard fighting other stupid things, and that's it. And they don't pay a lot of attention, and they don't try to make me care. If you try to make me care about the humans in this one, and you fail, then I'm going to be pissed off.
Right.
Show me 5 minutes of them. Show me a couple.
Just a little girl who can talk to Kong.
Right. A couple dumb jokes that the humans are going to. We need comic relief. So and so goes. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Woo! They do something like
Brian Tyree Henry's going to be in there.
Whatever.
I'm like, he's going to say something.
He's going to say something. It's going to be like the stupid little jokes, but don't give him too much time. I love Millie Bobby Brown. I can't tell you a damn thing about her story in whatever movie she was in.
She was in the
I don't remember
third one,
right?
The mid one, yeah.
Right, and I don't know anything about it. Something with her parents, and maybe there was.
But at least it was like. It's again, I'm of the camp where it's just like you've established the lore, and then if you're going to change it, I'm not going to be on board with it. There are people that are like, I saw Godzilla riding Kong or whatever. I'm on board. Put me down. I'm just like.
Yeah, and I think, that's the fun aspect of going to the movies to just watch a big spectacle. That's a lot, and that's also the
argument. But these haven't always been that, so it's changing into that.
It's changed because of streaming also. But let's go to Roadhouse.
Real quick.
All right, go ahead.
What would you do if 2 movies down the line, Godzilla -1 and it's Godzilla -3, and they're totally ignoring the character human story of it? You'd be like, no, fuck you, because that first one was incredible. And what you did.
Yeah. So that and it changed because the success came from that movie, right? The success of this franchise is coming from watching this team up. That's where the success is coming from.
All right.
So because the success of Godzilla -1, if they changed it, I would be like, what? Why are you doing this? This is, but going to Roadhouse, right?
Okay.
So Roadhouse, have you guys seen the remake yet?
No.
I did. I loved it.
The remake?
The original is one of my favorite movies of all time.
original. Yeah.
Well, the original is one of my favorites.
Yes, and it's a great '80s. The original is Patrick Swayze.
Have you seen it?
Have you never seen it? We should do a watch along.
Let's do a watch along.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So
yes.
But the first Roadhouse is an '80s classic.
Okay.
Right?
The best.
The new one is a Doug Liman movie, and it's like it's a fine streaming movie.
Yeah.
I saw people talking online, and they're going, "Why wasn't this in the theaters?" Would have been a horrendous decision.
I don't know, because if you've got the right crowd, it would have played really well.
I'm not telling you it wouldn't have played well in the crowd, but people are not going to be running out and spending their money to go see it.
No, not in this day and age.
No, not in this day and age. And it is, and we can go into the review of it, but that's not the point. The point is that is a streaming movie. And I understand why Amazon did it. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain times that you look at it and you go, whoa, that could have been a massive hit in the theater. I don't know how much it costs or whatever it was or whatever the deal was that they struck. I don't know. That legality is not what I'm talking about. But I think there's other movies that could have. It's not the mid 2000s anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I felt the same way when they did Without Remorse, the Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yeah, did they put that in the theater?
No, it wasn't.
Right.
It was supposed to be, and then Paramount sold it to Prime, and I watched it. I was like, yeah, this is a good streaming. And I don't say that as a knock.
No, it's a different business now.
The business has changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
This Roadhouse back in the 90s would have been that $30 million action movie
Yes.
that would have done real well, but it wouldn't need to make more than $80 million in the theater and would have been fine.
But this is why I enjoyed the latest Ghostbusters, right?
Okay.
Because I liked Afterlife, and I thought the development of that story, the writing in this one is not as good. It's sloppy.
And Ghostbusters,
the new one, the Frozen Empire, but I definitely understand why this movie comes out in the theater. It felt to me like a late 90s summer blockbuster movie. This movie comes out in 98. It comes out in July. 100%. And I liked a lot of the movie. People are like, did you like this or Afterlife better? Afterlife is a better developed story. This is, to me, just it's a fun summer movie, and one of those reasons that I just go to the movies and I could take my kid to go see it. And we don't have movies like that a lot in the theater anymore. If you say, well, what would you rather put in the theater, this or Roadhouse? If I'm a studio executive, Ghostbusters all day long.
Yeah, I get it.
All day long. Anyway, so you guys will disagree. What do you think? Go put it out there. Tell me what you think. And I don't think everybody will disagree, but some people will disagree. Put your comments in there. Tell me what you think of the conversation that we just had. All right, before we move on, I have two great sponsors, both PXG and BILT. Really love them, both of them. Tell you both about them right now. Golfers, you know that PXG is on a mission to create the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs in the game. Well, they're bringing the same passion for excellence to their new line of apparel, and I gotta say, they nailed it. I told Riley about this. Riley lost his mind. Riley was in the depths of having a new baby, but he was able to get some golfing in. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and he loved it. He told me all about it. It was made with premium materials and technology designed for peak performance. These confidence-inspiring looks invite all-day play, taking you seamlessly from the course to the office to a night in the town. From golf trips to romantic getaways, these dynamic pieces add versatility and standout style to every event. PXG apparel has something for everyone. Pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything that you want. I got this hat and this shirt, man. This shirt is slick. Love that shirt. It's my color too. I like that. So they're really comfortable. You guys know I like my hats. I like my black hats, and I like this hat. It's very comfortable, and I dig it. You'll see me wearing it a lot. It's great because they're designed for the course. They block out the sun. This shirt is really comfortable and perfect for the course. You can even wear it out. I will have meetings with this. I'll go to breakfast with this. Elevate your style game on and off the course with the PXG Spring Summer 2024 collection. You got to head on over to pxg.com/bigthing. You got to use that code though, BIGTHING, at checkout to save 10% on all apparel. All of my golfing friends are losing their minds with this stuff, and they're all asking me for stuff already. That's pxg.com/bigthing. Got to use that code BIGTHING to save 10% on apparel. pxg.com/bigthing. Use that code BIGTHING. All right, you know what stinks? When you're stuck in a loop of rent payments, you're just watching your money vanish into thin air. It's the worst. It's time to turn the rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. How do you do that? That is where BILT Rewards comes in. BILT is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Doesn't matter, even if you're rocking the old school rent check vibes, BILT Rewards, it's got your back. They're going to mail the check for you. It's like basically having a personal rent paying assistant. It's the best. Every month, you pay your rent and you watch the points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. Pay rent hassle-free through the BILT Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbilt.com/bigthing. That is joinbilt.com/bigthing. All right. Thank you to PXG and to BILT. I will be just already signing up for BILT for me is helping. So check it out. PXG. Oh, where's my damn... Oh, I had this hat. I wore it last night. They sent me the hat that's in. No. They sent it to me, and it's in the actual the endorsement that I just had on there. But it's this black hat I love. This PXG hat, and they sent some shirts. And anyway, it's wonderful. Let's move on to the next story. Here you go. Okay, I think this was dropped by Variety yesterday. I'll tell you in a second. Julia Roberts is joining Giordino's Hunt. Julia Roberts is teaming up with filmmaker Luca Giordino on the thriller After the Hunt, which has been set up at Amazon MGM. The story follows Roberts as a college professor who finds herself at a personal and professional crossroads when a star pupil levels an accusation against one of her colleagues. Soon, a dark secret from her past threatens to come to light, and the full cast is going to be announced at a later date. Nora Garrett wrote the script and will executive produce with Karen Lunder for Imagine Entertainment, Brian Grazer, and Alan Meldum also producing. The question is where it's going to shoot. Giordino has the tennis love triangle drama Challengers in cinemas shortly. He has already shot and nearly completed the Daniel Craig-led Mexico set romantic drama Queer, which is expected to premiere at Venice this year. He's also about to reteam with Challengers co-star Josh O'Connor on the wistful drama Separate Rooms, which will become before this. Roberts has seen a career resurgence as of late with the rom-com Ticket to Paradise and Netflix's post-apocalyptic thriller Leave the World Behind. Okay, so this is a story where, again, MGM, back to what we were talking about now. I don't know, did they say if this is streaming? If they said this is Amazon and MGM, I mean, could be either one, could be a thriller, and it is kind of a resurgence. As much as she took a big break, it seemed like too, but she was popping up in stuff on Amazon and on these. She did a couple of shows that did well. She was nominated for a few different things on whether it was some of the Emmys, and she was nominated for Critics' Choice Awards. She's been coming back, but that Ticket to Paradise, I saw them. It's not a good movie.
The Clooney one?
It's okay.
It's okay.
see it. Oh.
It's okay. They have great chemistry.
Yeah.
And she's great and he's great, but the movie's okay.
Okay.
And
that's like what you think of when you think of rom-coms.
Old school rom-com.
Old school rom-coms. So you're like, they're good. But then there's the now like Anyone But You, which I think is just a great rom-com. Crazy Rich Asians. Those are in a different league.
Sure. And as far as quality goes, but my point on it is that movie made money because it didn't cost a lot to make. And when you look at it, like there are not a lot of like our conversation that we were just having about there's certain kind of counter programming sometimes that you take that shot and you don't put it on streaming and you put it in the theater. And I think it was whenever they put it on, they still have star power, the two of them, and they made for what the budget was on that thing. It wound up making some money for them. So when they include that on the resurgence, because when you read it, you're like, oh, really, that movie? And so yeah, that movie made some cash. And then she's in that one, the Leave the World Behind one, which was kind of, I saw mixed reviews on it, but it got a lot of buzz. It did very well for Netflix, so it makes sense. Do you like this pairing?
Yes, I do. I think Julia Roberts can't go out of touch. It's Julia Roberts. So I would love to see her do more like what Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman have been doing, like those the big dramatic shows.
She's done those on recently.
The
like,
shows?
Yeah. Like there was a couple that she did, that military one that she did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's been in a few. She did that thing where it was with Sean Penn recently. Where what the hell was it? But
I haven't seen her in any shows. I need to catch up. But yeah, I would definitely watch this, especially if it was on streaming.
Yeah,
It
Mike,
makes it easier.
what do you think? You a good choice?
I'm indifferent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Doesn't that,
okay, hey.
What if she's in a superhero movie?
Okay.
All right, sure. I wonder if I think by doing these types of things and working with these type of directors, like I want to see her in a Denis Villeneuve movie. That's what I want to see. I want to see her work with Denis because like this is a great pairing.
I'm a Steph. And Julia Roberts can't do wrong, in my opinion. I grew up with her. She's a movie star.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you guys go? You went to school in Georgia?
No, we went to, I used to go to Mystic Pizza when she worked there. A couple slices.
Underrated
You want to talk about slice? That's a great slice there, Mystic Pizza.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, good slice.
Full of shit. All right, here we go. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a good pairing? What say you? All right, now Mike will liven up because we're going to talk about this. Spider-Man, Spider Within, a Spiderverse story. It's released. Garth Franklin over at Dark Horizons. Sony Pictures Animation and Sony Pictures Imageworks have released the entire original short film titled The Spider Within, which is set in the world of the animated Spider-Verse films. In the short, Miles Morales struggles to balance his responsibilities as a teenager friend and student while acting as Brooklyn's friendly neighborhood superhero. After a particularly challenging day living with these pressures, Miles experiences a panic attack that forces him to confront the manifestations of his anxiety on a trip through his subconscious. He ultimately learns that reaching out for help can be just as brave and act as protecting his city from evil. Shameik Moore reprises his Miles Morales role for the short film. The work is a collaboration with the Kevin Love Fund, created by basketball player Kevin Love, which works to break the stigma surrounding mental health and provides support to those in need. The project is directed by Jarrell Dampier, penned by Kalia Amazon, with Clara Chan and John Darko handling the VFX. The project follows in the wake of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse last year and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which hasn't set a date as yet. Now, I don't think anybody here has watched it yet because I think it dropped while we started recording, but you've seen the trailer for this, right?
So the trailer just dropped,
No,
not
I
the
think
whole
the whole
thing
thing dropped.
But did the trailer drop yesterday?
The trailer dropped a little while ago.
Oh, yesterday was the first thing I saw of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet though.
But you're big. You love.
I
these
love
things.
both movies.
Yeah,
They're great.
This
I'll
is
check it
something
out.
you think is pretty important and could work pretty well. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I also am like so selfishly thinking, did this take you guys away from the Spider-Verse?
Right.
Because I need to see that film ASAP.
Yeah, I think no. It is. There's a lot of stuff going on. The behind the scenes. I think they realized they had to lay off the animators a little bit and give them some time to breathe.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
But this seems like an extra project.
I think they were working on it.
Okay.
I think.
I
was
like
the
the
right part
idea of it.
Yeah,
Kevin Love's done a lot of great work with mental health. I
Okay.
think that he's made a big statement being okay with being like, I struggle with anxiety. And I think that, especially for men, that's important.
I think it's super important. I think it's super important for both, especially people who like the franchise. And now that Miles has become such a big part of pop culture, and
Right. Yeah.
and for especially like I got a 12-year-old. I was like, maybe I'll watch this with her.
Totally.
And like, that's a tough age, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's a tough age.
Oh my
So-
gosh. I would
so-
never go back to middle school.
No, and it's a tough age, and so watching this with her is probably something I would do also, and I think it's a good thing. She likes the Spider. I don't know. She hasn't seen the second one though. I got to watch that with her.
Inside Out 2 is going to come out at the perfect age for her.
She saw the trailer for that, and she was like,
Did they
this is-
read my diary?
She's like, that this is about me. Like literally when she walks in and she's just like, when the mother says something to her, she's like, I'm the worst. And so that's my daughter. It's like,
When anxiety pops
Yeah,
in, you're like,
yeah.
who the hell are you?
she really wants to see it,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Any of the things that we talked about today, make sure that you put your comments in there. Let your thoughts be known. We really like to hear it. Comment, like, hit the subscribe button. I'd like to thank my peeps for being here today, starting with Steph Sabra. Where can they find you?
At Steph Sabran, The World Girls, every Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Michael?
At Mike Kalinowski on Twitter and Instagram.
Exit up.
Nope. Shut your mouth.
Thanks for joining us here, guys. I appreciate it. Really appreciate your thoughts. And I'm going to have my out of the theater for Kong and Godzilla a little
can't
later
wait for
today.
that.
Yeah, it'll be
Now
a little
I'm
later
excited
today.
to see what it
I wonder if
is.
it's going to be
God.
I wonder if it's going to be exactly what I just said, or it's going to be completely different. I don't know. So it'll be a little bit later. Check that out. And that's it. And I'll probably have a non-spoiler of that movie also. I didn't get a chance to do the non-spoiler of Ghostbusters, but you get it when you see the out of the theater. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye. What I just said about